I don't know if you all have this problem, but I definitely do. I just don't have enough space for all of my games. I've got them all over the place. I have them in a garage. I have them in a closet. I have them in this office. I have them in a, I guess it would be considered like a TV stand. I have them in a entryway piece of furniture as well. I frankly have to make room for more. The good news is there are a ton that I just don't play and I probably need to get rid of. That's going to be a different video. This first video is basically one of the reasons why I might have kept a game that otherwise I probably should have gotten rid of, mostly because I haven't played it. Maybe I won't play it anytime soon, or maybe I don't have the game group for it. However, there's just this one thing that has me thinking, oh, I can't get rid of it. And it is so shallow. And I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but it's the production. If you follow this channel, you probably know that I fell hard into this hobby because of deluxeification. Actually, the very first game that really got me into the hobby was Wingspan. And I just couldn't fathom that this game came with such a beautiful production, whether it be the card trays or the dice tower, the little eggs, or the beautiful illustrations. Like, all of that wowed me. I went on to Everdell, then I found Kickstarter, and ooh, that's when things kind of went a little sideways. In fact, some of these games that I am saving came from that era because they're just so beautiful. Either way, we're here today to discuss deluxeification in games and the 4 games in which I saved. They stopped, they were on the chopping block. I was about to pull the string, let them go, but then I opened the box lid and I said, they're just too pretty. So we're going to go over those games. I'm going to open up the box and show you why exactly, despite the game, me not playing it nor loving it or whatever it is, or just not playing enough of it, it survived the cold just because I thought it looked good. First game on this list, Dog Park. Dog Park is a game that I backed fairly early on. I think post discovery of Kickstarter and that it's a thing. This was one of the first campaigns I came across. I'll have to check the date on that, but it's I mentioned Wingspan was a gateway drug here, and Dog Park has a lot of Wingspan vibes as well. Parks was another early game that I really enjoyed, and Dog Park has a lot in common with Parks, or at least a mechanism in common with Parks. You're basically bidding for dogs, putting them in your kennel, choosing which ones to walk, and then using a mechanic that's pretty close to Parks as you walk, using spaces. I think you can move 1 to 4 spaces, and then you take the benefit. You're collecting those benefits. There's goals. There's all this other kind of stuff. And I really am not in the in the position to give you a proper overview on this game. So if you want me to actually play this and review it, let me know in the comments. But because I've played it maybe twice and then it just got put into a closet as kind of a collector's item. In fact, this is the collector's edition here, and this thing's pretty. All right, Dog Park. Well, first, let me show you. It has this nice cover in the collector's edition. I mean, come on. All right, all good. Everything's fine there. But then, well, look at this. No, not that. This. I mean, come on. How on earth do I get rid of this game? How on earth do I get rid of that? This is crazy. The board is just beautifully illustrated. Then look at the freaking bits. I mean, okay, we're going to do these one at a time here. But I mean, look at the detail on this bone. Look at the ball. These are the resources that you pay to be able to walk the dogs. I mean, look at the little toy. Look at the toy. I don't know what this is. Is this like the cutest little octopus you've ever seen in your entire life? I will say, I wish the collars, and I have no idea if there was some sort of deluxe upgrade here, but I wish the collars were a little bit more upgraded. Collars you place on their dogs as you walk them to mark that you've walked them before. Some scoring goes into that, but I mean, look at the tray. Game trays are always a plus. Player boards, nothing to really write home about, but then look at your bidding tracker. Great. You have to bid for these dogs secretly, then play it and figure out if you can actually get the dog that you wanted. Wonderful. I mean, the meeples. First of all, can I say color makes a difference in games? Primary colors don't work well in our house. My wife is doesn't love when primary colors are chosen, but look at these dog walking meeples. That's what you go and you kind of, whoops, That's what you go and use and walk around the board here to get all of the stuff, grab resources. I mean, that's beautiful. I think this is the round marker here, little German Shepherd. I had a German Shepherd as a kid. Can we talk a little bit about the art? I mean, let's just throw it out there. We'll just deal what we have. I mean, look at those cards. So the art is absolutely beautiful as well. This is the round marker. Beautiful little bird. First player marker is literally it's a doghouse. I mean, come on. I have no idea what these meeples are actually used in. I don't know if the dog's being walked was an upgraded meeple, but they're probably the best meeples, dog meeples on the market. Fight me in the comments. Beautiful. I also, fun fact, had a wiener dog. Here's the wiener dog. Oh, shadow. I had a wiener dog as a kid as well, along to go with that German Shepherd. Ooh, fancy. Is that a poodle? I don't know. Anyways, they're beautiful. And then you can just see this insert. It's game trays. Like I said, big plus anytime there's game trays that like literally perfectly fits everything in there. That's not the case for all the games on the list, but game trays will heavily influence whether I actually keep a game. Just so much easier to get out. I will say there's a couple spots in here where I just don't know where these should go. So I don't know that it's the perfect game tray, but I will appreciate it and not complain either way. Like these kind of like are a real squeeze back in here. I don't even know how I had it in here. Like, how does that not fit back? And technically, I think that German Shepherd should also go in there. I have no idea how they go in there, but anyways, you get the idea. It's a beautiful production. It's a pretty good game, and it might be a great game if I actually played it a little bit more. Now that I've cracked it again, I might do so because I do like Wingspan, I do like Parks, and I do like beautiful productions, obviously. So I'm gonna get it back to the table for sure. Next on this list, I have played much more. This is a really nice Euro entry level game. I guess it's kind of like entry level plus, but it's Flamecraft. Many of you played Flamecraft. I've mentioned it on the channel before. This is the deluxe edition, so I can't speak to the retail, but my days with it have probably gone by. I may pull this out once a year or so at this point, but we played a lot out in the beginning. But it is, you know, it's a worker placement resource management game. You're placing your dragon out on spots, collecting resources, even upgrading those spots. There's like set collection mechanisms and goals and all of that stuff. You know, if you want me to do a full review on Flamecraft, let me know in the comments, but we're going to look a little bit at this incredible deluxe production. All right, this is the first impressions test. Let's take it off. Oh yeah. Game trays at it again, just crushing it. Beautiful little bits organizers, which by the way, I absolutely love when you have duplicate resource organizers to go on each side of the table. Everyone gets their own, or at least groups of people get their own. We'll get to those in just a second here. But another thing that I absolutely love is when, first of all, I like a mat. Some people, that could be controversial. Game mats are wonderful. It's even more wonderful when they actually fit in the box. And I mean, look at this. Just a beautiful mat. And then you got the bits. Well, I guess here, let's do the bits first. I mean, little potions. Come on. Little potions. Little meats. Little steaks. Come on. I guess it's iron. They're just adorable little wooden bits. And I don't think these exist in retail. I think it's just a deluxe components. Little diamonds, just all beautiful. So that's that. And then, honestly, this might be some of the best metal coin. Son of a... I need that coin. I'm gonna go get it right now before... got it. Anyways, what was I saying here? These coins are probably some of the best. I think that's a first player marker. Metal coins. They are chunky coins. Here, let me see. They don't sound hollow. I mean, these things are solid and heavy. Literally probably the best metal coins in my collection. I won't say ever. I don't have all the metal coins in the world. These are excellent though. The art is subjective, I know, but on all the different locations, they go all around the map here. And if they're reflecting, I'm sorry, because I have actually sleeves on these big cards. They are a little bit flimsy, but there's a bunch of them. There's variety. They're pretty. I think stealing the show, though, are these guys. These dragon meeples are absolutely beautiful. I think deluxe only edition here. Each of them are different. The sculpting and detail on these is just great. And that's what you essentially go and place around the map as you're playing, collect your resources. And then there's these little dragon cards. All the art in this whole game is beautiful. I mean, honestly, just pick one. They're all great. And it all goes back into a wonderful box. The play mat goes into the box. Like, how can I get rid of this? I can't. This is also just a great, this will really teach somebody about worker placement, resource management. There's only one worker or your dragon that you're placing around. Fairly easy concepts there. Some of the decisions around which space to go to and what resources do you need and what kind of goal cards to pick up can be absolutely crunchy. By the way, I mean, they're not individual, but the dragon meeples as a replacement for the minis are still really beautiful. And that's Flamecraft. It's staying. Next one is a behemoth. Summit. This is the Summit big box. This is the newest addition to all of these. One in which I've played a couple times. I've never played the cooperative game. I've only played kind of the competitive game, which is known to be nasty, which is why I like it. But you're climbing up a mountain. It's kind of like a tile placement game. You're managing stats on a board. Those stats include things like, the weight in which you're carrying on you. You carry weight in terms of like food and oxygen and also equipment. Equipment cards are really awesome. They give you kind of like special abilities, but basically you're trying to get to the summit and back without dying. And there are definitely a lot of instances of Take That. I enjoy Take That, and this is a game that actually has it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a hit for the family, and this is a game you really need people to really like to play it. I mean, I guess we could try it co-op, and it wasn't that it was to Take That. It just didn't, nobody is asking to play it. Although I was really reluctant to get rid of this thing. It is fairly new. I think I've received it in the last year or so, and I just haven't gotten enough plays. There's also new modules and new expansions in here and lots of stuff I haven't explored. But I cracked the box one more time because I thought, I'm probably not going to play this. I could probably get pretty good money for it. But then I just looked at the production and I thought, maybe just give it one more try. All right, big boy. Got the Summit big box. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so this one actually comes with yet another huge plus. As you'll see right here, it is the playmat. Duplicitous is the normal board that comes with normal retail base game. But once again, the mat fits in the box and you are climbing up this mountain. And in terms of deluxeification, now I will say I don't love this insert. It's not game trace, first off. It's pretty kind of flimsy and doesn't have the covers on it. I'd say that the storage isn't particularly intuitive, but I'm not gonna fully complain here. But what I do like, dual layer player boards. Well, there we go. This is where you track basically all of your stats, your movement, your health, the weight that you have on you, which affects your movement. And movement is king. You're trying to get to the top of the hill here. The other thing, no finger hold to get these out. You got to flex it out of there. As you can see, the organization it's just kind of weird. There's just a bunch of empty spots. Another thing I like, you have the option acrylic standees. They're super duper tiny acrylic standees. You can also just use, the wooden little meeple guys. Just a bunch of bits in there. Nothing too crazy, but the highlights, acrylic standees, player boards. You can see there is some decent organization. There's all these different cards in here. I had a hard time figuring out how to organize them. Oh, and in the expansion is also dual layer. This is the Insanity expansion where you have to manage how nuts you go, I believe. I've never played it. I don't know. They've also replaced a lot of these cardboard tokens, which are kind of like statuses and different effects in the game with these little plastic, I don't know, I guess they'd be minis, which is a lot. They're kind of a mess and you have to sort through them. It's probably much easier to just use the cardboard tokens, but it is a nice sentiment, one in which I absolutely do appreciate. It looks better than the cardboard and feels better. But anyways, the other thing is, so there's just basically cards and such. I will say the art on this stuff is pretty cool. I'm trying to find something that showcases that. It's different. It's a totally different type of art style, but that's all the equipment cards. The only other highlight here on the deluxe edition, and I think I might have paid extra, metal dice. I don't know that metal dice are any better than normal dice. They roll with a thud and not... Oh, speaking of thuds, I just destroyed the entire insert here. But they just feel so good in hand. I'm afraid I'm going to like break my table when I roll them, but they're cool. So, you know, I think as much as Summit doesn't get the boost on one of the best inserts, I think they might have cheaped out a little bit there. It's just that really cheap plastic. It still has some pretty nice components. You get me with dual layer player boards. You definitely get me with the mountain map that you're racing to get to the top and back. I absolutely love that. And I love that it fits in the box. Another big box here. Endless Winter. This is a game I was actually incredibly excited for. Basically, when I had heard about it, I heard about Arnak and Dune at the same exact time. I think you all are, if you kind of followed along with the all of these games and how they kind of came to market, they were all part of the discussion. And a lot of creators that I was watching at that time said Endless Winter was actually the best of them all. Arnak and Dune had a huge advantage. They went to market immediately. I don't think they were kickstarted, and if so, it was much before, but I believe they went straight to retail and got into people's hands, and I fell in love with both of those. But this one finally came, and it was a lot. This one, Endless Winter. Now, this is actually a really good game, and why I haven't played it a lot until now, I don't know. Like, I had a quick little stint when it arrived. I was insanely excited about this thing arriving. Mostly, well, I liked deck building and worker placement, but I knew this production was going to be insane. And I don't even have everything. There were more, I think, like resin upgraded stuff and all of that, but this is kind of, I guess, the standard deluxe edition. It's just pretty much awesome. But I think the game's good, and I think cracking this is probably going to make me want to play it more here. Uh-oh, what do we have? We've got game trays. I have a little, I will say, I don't know if there's like stuff missing out of this. I kept the foam in there to take up space. Otherwise, there's a decent amount of space empty, but just so it doesn't move around too much. But come on. I mean, let's just look really quickly at this player tray. Individual player trays, by the way, not necessarily primary colors. I guess red is pretty primary, more of a burnt yellow. By the way, I'm a yellow guy. What color do you play? Put in the comments right now. You open it up, you've got your starting deck of cards, and you've got all of the little pieces that you need to get this going. The little huts. I think this is like the upgraded. You start with a camp and go to, I don't know what they're called. You start with a camp and then you eventually upgrade them to these. Just beautiful. And then here are, I think they're the relic tokens. These are the ones in which I think there were resin versions, which at the time I kicked myself in the butt from not getting, but considering I have not played this really at all since my first kind of go with it, and it's been collecting dust, it's probably good I didn't go with the upgraded resin. But individual game trays for each player is a huge bonus in my mind. Beautiful pieces. The board and the art is stunning. I also kicked myself from not getting the mats. In fact, I tried to go back in late pledge and get the mats, but something that was closed or whatever it might be. But there's all these different little boards. There's a lot of modular stuff going on here. And hey, here's a theme. We have dual layered player boards for all of your stuff, just to perfectly slide in there, get all set up. It's the loudest plane of my life going over right now. Set up your little relics. As you build stuff, you get more upgrades. The Miko, I don't know how to say the name. I think there's debate in the community. Either way, beautiful. I mean, that's it. And then you have your workers, which there is a special worker, your chief, that we'll look at in a second. But I mean, awesome workers. By the way, I love this theme. I'm getting excited and pumped just getting this thing out. Like, why am I not playing this game? It's so awesome. I honestly just think it's just kind of overwhelming from like a get it to the table perspective. There's a decent amount here to do. I think this isn't even the main board. You know, you have basically the card market that goes below this. There's also a card market. I guess it's up here. I guess you can sort of see it for animal cards because there's like a set collection element. You can also tip them over for immediate benefits. Gosh, what else I forgot? Oh, there's a whole hex board that is like the area control element, and that's where you go and move your camps around and build these things. And then you can add in the rivers expansion where you have a river going through that board and you're going down the river and collecting fish. There's just a lot. There is a lot to this game, especially in this iteration. I have all the expansions in here. There's the here we go. You might have seen me pull pins out. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's like an optional cave painting module. As you complete particular sections, you get to take the benefits, I believe. There's also benefits in completing the leg section somehow. I don't know. I'd have to read all of it. I knew it at one time. There's just components upon components to kind of add on and customize your experience. There's tons of little modules that aren't even full expansions. It's a lot, but I think it might be worth it. I have a feeling that if I were to play this again, especially in light of kind of what I do now, which is, you know, I review a lot of board games, I might find it to be particularly underappreciated. By me, first and foremost, but maybe by everyone. I was really surprised in this game how it kind of arrived to a whimper. I mean, during the campaign, there was so much hype, and like the thought was that this might be the best of the three, you know, worker placement deck building games. But this does something, it's just so much different. Like this one's even hard to compare. Regardless, look at that nice little tray for everything. And then each individual art, by the way, on each board. Like, I have no idea of everything that I'm showing you what is available in retail. So this just might be baiting you to buy something that you don't have, or you can't get, I should say. This entire kind of module here, this all nests nicely. You take it off and you have, I believe that's just all expansion stuff. Nice and neat, not mixed in with the other stuff. There's a couple things that are kind of loosely sitting in the top of the box, like I showed you, that were related to expansions, but like that's all the rivers expansion, extra modules, extra cards, all of that stuff. And then the core part of it is right here. Another great insert. Oh, look at the art, by the way, in the box. You know what? You probably hardly ever see that, but like the little touches like that, how do I get rid of it? All right, so this was, I had mentioned that you get a special worker. These are washed. I'm not sure if I paid extra for washed or not, but great minis. I think these kind of detailed washes are a little bit controversial sometimes. I'm not a painter. I wish I was, but I'm just not. So anytime I can spend extra to get the washed, this might be, I don't know. Anytime I can spend extra to get the wash, I typically will do, unless it's some like crazy price hike. That one of the extra modules is the mammoth. And look at that. Looks straight out of Ice Age. So cool. I think everything else here is pretty run of the mill, other than maybe checking out some of the art. There's like base deck building cards here that you can kind of always buy if my memory serves. Like I said, don't hold me to it. Oh, then there's the chief cards. Chiefs give you, you know, that you'll match your chief with the particular chief card. It gives you extra powers or actions. I can't remember how those are used. And then there's kind of the deck building cards, depending on, I think there's an era 1 and 2. So the cards get better as you go on in the game. There aren't a ton of deck building cards here. With that said, there are lots of additions to those cards through kind of the extra modules. I think there's something called an Ancestors expansion as well that adds to that pool. And here, one other thing to look at. So there's monolith boards, and you have to kind of like set them up in a particular way, which this will be the wrong way. I think you usually put like 4 of them out. Maybe we'll say like this. And I think as you cover symbols, you get to take the thing, but then you'll build out maybe a 4-square grid. And if you put your monolith, I don't know if they're monoliths or relics, we're going to call it relic right now. If you put it right on the 4, you get points, I think, equal to all the other matching of your color that you're kind of placing the relic on. I don't know. If you're interested at all in this game, I'm actually really interested in getting this back to the table. I don't know that I'll do coverage on it unless, of course, y'all really want it, but I might just play it just for the fun of playing it with all of the extra time that I have, I'm sure. I don't think there's much else to check out that's super special other than maybe I think it's in the Rivers expansion, there's these kind of monuments that interact with the game somehow. I don't even remember, but you know, extra cool little wooden bits that you get. I'd be interested to see what the retail version of this looks like and how the sales have been. Has anyone played or currently play Endless Winter? Has this kind of stayed on anyone's radar or fallen off similar to mine? I don't know. I think I remember looking at my wife after playing this the first time going, oh, I really like this. But I don't know. Tastes change over time. You never know if stuff will hold up or not. So, but I mean, this is just such a beautiful production. And by the way, like I remember following this campaign and all of the updates so closely. Like I was so excited for this to finally deliver. And I say finally, I have no idea if this was late or not. I think everything starts to feel late. Even the top on this thing is so specific. You got to have the minis turned in the right direction. And I'm going to jinx myself by saying it's really simple just to put right back. I think it kind of all fits in here so nicely. Ooh, question is, where do all these extra boards go? That's the one thing in this. Some of these have really, like, seems like advanced ways of throwing boards in and having them fit in here. I can't see really a discernible, easy place to kind of put boards. I don't know what goes where, but you know, we're just gonna throw some stuff in here. Oh, I forgot I have the extra foam as well. The other thing I'll say is there's a ton of little expansion rules that are easily lost here. I wish it'd all be in one book. That is always something I really appreciate that's not here as one big rule book. All right, so I know I said I have 4, but there's a bonus here. And actually, when I was doing the lead up, I thought this was in the original 4, but it's not. So guess what? You get 5. Because I had mentioned a game that I had never, ever played. And that game, Merchants of the Dark Road. Oh, this one was tough. This one was tough because I've never played it, first and foremost. So I should probably play it. But I've had it forever, and I've never actually tabled it. And honestly, I've fallen victim to kind of critics and reviews. Like this thing came out and I was so disappointed because it was a very late delivery. There was the campaign was a rough campaign for Elf Creek. But when I finally got it, the reviews were already out, already saying that it's a meh game. Since then, I heard some people say that they really like it. So I probably really need to get it to the table. But basically, as I was looking through my games, if I had never played them before and I've had them over a year, I probably should get rid of them. And this is probably the most egregious example of that. But then I just removed the box lid and I saw all of this wonderful, beautiful stuff. Okay, I've never played this. Yeah, I'm keeping a game that I've had for, I think, a couple of years. I don't know when it delivered. You can do the math. And I've literally never played it. I got it out. I organized it, all the stuff, and I never played it because I listened to too many people about this game. So looks like there's a modular playing board here. I will say I'm going to note one thing on the playing board. One of the reasons we're keeping this thing, you'll notice, yep, there's a board. Here, I guess maybe we'll put it up here. So this is the top left of the game board, and boom, it's a magnet. It's a magnet, totally overproduced. I have a ton of respect for that. I got to get it to the table just to play with that. See what the hell it does. I don't even know. I think I have like everything here. Honestly, I've got the bags. I think I got it all. All these little bags, little stand-up extra bags. I believe these are all upgraded and are probably still available. And then these boards are just elite. I think you carry, it's a pick up and delivery, carry stuff around. You're trying to get lanterns, you're in the dark. I don't know. I have no idea. but it's a wagon, it's a board, and look, it's double layered. And I think they're all different. Yeah, I think all the boards are slightly different. So, and then once again, another elite organizer here. I mean, this looks like to be game trays. I have a feeling, I think I remember people saying they didn't like the way the organization was here. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll start with I guess the big one goes right to the ground so we can just pop it open. I'm a big Honey Buzz fan. Man, I even sleeved this. How insane is that? I went to the trouble of sleeving a game that I never played. Has anyone played Merchants of the Dark Road? And do I need to finally play this thing that I actually sleeved? That I have no idea what any of these cards do. All I know is it's a pick up and deliver game. You can go into a deep dark forest. I think I remember that it's beneficial if you go with other people. It's like mutually beneficial by like sharing. You can ask people to share the route with yourself. I don't know. There's the magical animals. What do these magical animals do? Very thick cardboard. All the cards are sleeved. Just looks like beautiful magical dice. I have no idea what they do, but I appreciate them. They're pretty. Art is cool and moody. Frost squirrel, animal, phoenix, snow bee. I mean, how do you get rid of a snow bee? I don't know. We're not even to the best part though. I do know that there is something living in here. Oh, let's look at the little meeples. I'm sure these are upgraded as well. That roll them around the map, pick up and deliver stuff. It's a good vibey winters game. Maybe that's what I need to do. Do a video on vibey winter games. Are there any other vibey winter games out there? I could do winter games. Endless Winter. What else? Yeah, Endless Winter here in Merchants of the Dark Road. That's a video. It's funny. Like maybe what you should do if you're struggling playing some of your games, they've just been sitting there forever, and you just haven't had the motivation to play them. Just open them, especially if they're beautiful productions. Just opening them sometimes might be the impetus to you actually breaking them open here. Okay. All right. I can already see it's got that. I don't think this is game trays. Maybe it is. It looks like it's a module top. Maybe this is why people don't like it. I think these are all the goods that actually go on your wagon, and they're all on this module top on the top. I don't know if that's why people don't like these. Oh, a little foil embossed. I wonder, does retail have the foil on all these goods? So this is kind of like a little bit of a, I guess it's not a polyomino game because you can move all these goods around at any time. But I guess it is, you're just trying to do a little Tetris to fit everything you can on a wagon to go deliver it. I'm guessing you fulfill some type of orders. Who knows? Maybe I should read the rule book. And then this lid is also a lid. Oh. To what's in here. And what's in here is incredibly special. This is why I probably have kept the game. I think I just said my favorite coins are in Flamecraft. I've never played with these, but holy crap. These are beautiful. I know these are definitely an upgrade. They didn't even come with the deluxe version. I believe I paid way too much for these. I mean, look at the little bees. These are just so insanely beautiful. I mean, the detail on this thing is crazy. Good weight. But then there's like the extra resin components. I know none of these were in the base game. Pretty sure I probably paid an arm and a leg to get these little beautiful resin crystals. And then we're not done with metal, by the way. I think that's the first player. No, that's another coin. There's metal. I don't even know what you do with a horseshoe, but they're metal. All right, that's it. I'm going to play this freaking game. It's fall. Winter's right around the corner. I'm going to get this to the table. If in a couple months I've not gotten this to the table, please yell at me. I guess you won't know. I'm not necessarily going to cover it. I don't know how many clicks this would be. Maybe I can, do some sort of coverage around winter games. Because winter's here. Winter's coming. It's not quite here. These beautiful bags, just elite level bags. They're the kind that stand up on their own. I think you hide your money in this game. My memory serves. I don't know. I don't even know what they're for. Anyways, I mean, that's Merchants of the Dark Road. Am I the only one that is this shallow where I will keep a game because it is beautiful? Granted, these aren't bad games, and actually now that I've cracked them open, I am completely excited to actually play them. But what about you? Name the games down below that you just can't get rid of because they just look too good. And if you want to support the Neon Gorilla, go click the link below. It's linked in the description. You can also hit a join button and you'll be prompted to a video, tell you what comes along with supporting me. And with all of that said, have yourself a great day.